A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke, chapter 12, verses 32 to 48. The passage is taken from the Message version of the Bible. Jesus said to his disciples, "Don't be afraid of missing out. You're my dearest friends. The Father wants to give you the very kingdom itself. Be generous, give to the poor. Get yourselves a bank that can't go bankrupt, a bank in heaven far from bank robbers, safe from embezzlers, a bank you can bank on. It's obvious, isn't it? The place where your treasure is the place you will most want to be and end up being. Keep your shirts on. Keep the lights on. Be like house servants waiting for their master to come back from his honeymoon, awake and ready to open the door when he arrives and knocks. Lucky the servants whom the master finds on watch. He'll put on an apron, sit them at the table, and serve them a meal, sharing his wedding feast with them. It doesn't matter what time of night he arrives, they're awake and so blessed. You know that if the house owner had known what night the burglar was coming, he wouldn't have stayed out late and left the place unlocked. So don't you be lazy and careless. Just when you don't expect him, the Son of Man will show up. Peter said, "Master, are you telling the story just for us, or is it for everyone?" The Master said, "Let me ask you, who is the dependable manager, full of common sense, that the Master puts in charge of his staff to feed them well and on time? He is a blessed man, if when the Master shows up, he's doing his job. But if he says to himself, 'The master is certainly taking his time,' begins beating up on the servants and maids, throw parties for his friends, and gets drunk, the master will walk in when he least expects it, give him the thrashing of his life, and put him back in the kitchen peeling potatoes. The servant who knows what his master wants and ignores it, or insolently does whatever he pleases, will be thoroughly thrashed. But if he does a poor job through ignorance, he'll get off with a slap on the hand. Great gifts mean great responsibilities. Greater gifts, greater responsibilities. The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning. Welcome to Coffee with God, and I am Father Joseph Matthew. Today on the 10th of August, we reflect on the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke, chapter 12, verses 32 to 48. Invest in love, the only treasure that lasts. Last Sunday's Gospel warned us about the foolishness of placing our trust in possessions. The rich farmer who hoarded his harvest lost everything in an instant. Today, Jesus continues the conversation, but with a surprising invitation: do not be afraid. Why begin with this? Because what he proposes challenges our instincts. It is not about religious rituals or devotions. It's about how we handle our possessions, money, and talents, things we deeply cling to. Jesus addresses his little flock, the ones who truly follow him, not the crowds. To these trusted friends, he proposes a radical investment, not in stocks or storage, but in love. He urges us to use our possessions not for hoarding, but for serving. To give generously is not reckless, it is wise. Why? Because only love lived through charity cannot be stolen or devalued. Houses, lands, and wealth may pass, but acts of love echo eternally in God's kingdom. Jesus illustrates this with a parable. A master leaves his house for a wedding feast and entrusts it to his servants. These servants must remain alert. with their lamps lit and tunics tied, ready to serve. The house is the Christian community, made up not of lords or bosses, but of servants. There is no room for titles or self-importance, only service. The Christian must always be ready, not for their own gain, but to respond in love when others knock. And when the Master returns, a stunning reversal. He serves the servants. This is the heart of the gospel. God in Jesus is not a distant master, but a servant who wipes our tears, who comes not to take, but to give. This image overturns all human ideas of power. But Jesus warns us too. The thief will come, not death necessarily, but opportunities that arrive suddenly and test whether we are ready to give. A poor person asking for help, a chance to forgive, a call to serve. If we have used our treasures well, there will be nothing left for the thief to take, because we have already invested them in love. To those entrusted with more, like leaders, pastors, ministers, Jesus speaks plainly. They are not masters but stewards. Their job is to nourish the community with care and humility. Yet there is danger here too: pride, power, negligence. When leaders forget they are servants, they betray their calling. Jesus uses harsh language not to condemn but to awaken us to the weight of the responsibility that comes with knowledge of the gospel. Today's gospel challenges all of us. Where is your treasure? What are you doing with what God has entrusted to you? Let us not fear giving. Let us not delay loving. Let us stay awake with lamps lit and hearts ready. In every knock on the door, in every phase of need, it is Christ who comes. And blessed, yes, truly blessed, are those servants whom the Master finds awake when he comes.